So it is Friday night, waiting for some lamb to rest. Gonna probably have steak tomorrow. Actually, I'm definitely gonna have steak tomorrow. As I'm gonna talk about my 50th birthday wines. I'm just gonna have a Chateau Kinder Merlot 2015, so some aged Bordeaux. I will say, and I've been saying, I thought this was my secret find of a fifth growth Bordeaux that tastes like a lot better. I am pulling that back as I've been continuing to drink this wine, this Chateau. It's got an astringency that I just struggle with sometimes. I think there's inconsistency in the vintages and consistency in even in the same vintages. I've had some bottles that are great and some bottles that are just not great, where I decant them and then it just tastes oxidized. It's a bit all over the place. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just popping and pouring. I didn't even want to decant it. Last time I opened an aged one, it was a little, I don't want to say too aged. What do I want to say? It just tasted oxidized and it wasn't to my liking. So I think it'll pair well with food, better with food than on its own. So it's got some pretty good aromas, but it's not amazing. And I want amazing. And I think I found a new fifth growth. I've had it once, maybe twice, and after I have it a few more times, I will see how it pans out and if that replaces the same price. Actually, that one's more money. This on discount, $35.40, but it's more $50. This one's about $45.50. Still, you're talking about a high quality Bordeaux, but this for $50 is just not worth it anymore. See, it's solid, but it's already, it's just too old. This Bordeaux can't age. It is not aging well. That is insane for me to say. Bordeaux is all about being age-worthy. Gosh, that's very disappointing. I don't even know if I want to have that with my lamb. Not sure, but I'll make that decision later. I need to go grab one more bottle. Okay. There was another bottle I opened on my birthday or that weekend of celebration. So let's not worry about that. Started off with, this is Bollinger RD, recently disgorged, 2002, a 20-year-old champagne. This spent so much time on the lees, it's crazy. This champagne, to me, is near perfection. Unbelievably good. I've had it one other time. This time was better. I then had a regular Bollinger, which is $60 at Costco. This is $250, I think, maybe more. I forget. Bought it particularly because I was struggling with the white wine I would have, and because of I wanted some caviar and some cured meat. This went really well with the caviar, some Osetro caviar. And I think I had some California caviar too. One was Russian, and then one was different nights, though. It doesn't matter. This was amazing. Just amazing. If I've had Cristal, Cristal's fine. Cristal's good. There's nothing wrong with Cristal. Dom Perignon is not quite up to the level of, I'd say, Cristal, and gosh, that's not a great comparison. You got to pick some $200+ bottles of champagne to compare this to, but this is phenomenally good. This is the best champagne I've ever had. Twice now. I just love it. It's got an aged character for sure, which is probably also why I love it, but it's not over-aged character. Phenomenal start to the birthday celebration. I've been saving this for a while. I love Pontet Canet. This was their highest rated, ranked vintage ever, 2009. I wish the bottle label was better. It's unfortunately not. Definitely a 5 out of 5. But this thing got 100 points all over the place. I don't do points. I don't do all that, but it's not the best Pontet Canet I've ever had. I think the 2000, the 2003, and the 2005 were better than this one. I wonder if they changed something in the vinification from those years to this year and also in subsequent years, because the last couple I've had definitely have a slightly different taste. They're still phenomenal, but there's a but. I'm just losing a little bit of that I wanted in every vintage right now because it feels like it's changed. It feels like it's changed. Now, there is this whole movement away from the bold. Pauillac is left bank Bordeaux, where it's big, bold, red, extracted, just big and bold in your face, high alcohol. There's this movement for freshness and lower alcohol and more acidity, more food friendly, and that's all fine, and I like that. But sometimes when you're in this region, in this place, you still want that power, but you want the balance that goes with it. You just don't want it to be over extracted, but the balance that goes with it. So that's where I want to see Chateau Pot-Canet, and that's why I've been drinking it since whatever vintage it was. Okay, I've been saved. I was on this wine list, waiting list, for 7 years. This is Scarecrow, one of the top California cult wines ever. The only reason I got on this list is because I was going to buy these and maybe resell them, but also because this wine is made in my favorite AVA in California, Napa, called Rutherford. And I don't know why I picked this one to be on the waiting list for. I finally got it. This was a 2019. I got it a number of years ago. Extremely expensive. Oh, I didn't really go through prices here. So yeah, $250 to $300. Pot-Canet, when I bought this, wasn't that bad. Then got rated super high. I think it's $350, $400 now. So whatever. I think I paid $600. This far exceeds that now. If you could find a buyer, I paid $6 something with tax and shipping and all that. And I said, I'm going to save it for my 50th. I've had this for years. 5 years or so, whatever the number is, doesn't really matter. And did it deliver? Yeah, did it deliver? It was phenomenal. Everyone asks me, would I buy it again? I guess for $500, I'd buy another one and save it for 5 more years from now and drink one every 5 years. That would be a dream. It was delicious. It was balanced. It was big. It was perfect. It was a perfect Cabernet out of Napa. That was it worth every penny? I don't know. I'm sure there's a $200 cab that's just as good, so you save all that extra money. But it lived up to the hype of being pretty darn amazing. I didn't think it was going to. To be honest, I did not think this could have been as good as it was for the price. I kind of thought maybe it was just a little bit of hocus pocus, but this is cult cab status. This in a restaurant is in the thousands, if you could even find it. So I didn't buy the vintage that they offered me after. They jacked up the price by $100 a bottle. And then I think I'm at the bottom of the list. I don't even know where I am, but real highlight. And I had some the next day, and it was still just as good. I only had a glass the next day, but it was phenomenal. I didn't want to hate it. Of course, I paid a lot of money. I just thought it would be overrated, but it wasn't. It wasn't at all. To round out everything with a chocolate tahini cake, I paired it with a ice wine from the Finger Lakes 2002. 20-year-old ice wine. This thing, super sweet, but has that age character. Phenomenal. Half bottle, $150, I think, for half bottles. This whole bottle been $300, but you're talking... Ice wine is becoming harder and harder to make with the climate shift. Ice wine is becoming more difficult. Plus, when you even have it, you're getting so little out of that grape, that frozen grape, to make ice wine that the cost is high. No matter where you're getting an ice wine from Canada, Niagara, wherever it may be, Germany, and Finger Lakes, the only 3 places I've ever had an ice wine from. This was the best ice wine I've ever had, but it's also got the 20 years of age, which I've never had an ice wine with that much age. So when I tried it at the winery way back when, I said this would be a fantastic wine to have as my dessert, although we did pair it with a dessert. So phenomenal. All these wines so far just was an amazing experience. and drank over many, many, many hours that evening with numerous courses and great high-end food that was all cooked here or brought here. And maybe the most disappointing of all, I didn't really buy this to save it for my 50th. I wanted an Armagnac. What is Armagnac? Armagnac is brandy. A brandy is distilled grapes made all over the world, called different things in different countries. In Cognac, France, the region, it's called Cognac. And definitely the best expression of distilled grapes is Cognac. That's just how it goes. Armagnac actually predates Cognac. Another region. They only distill once, I think, rather than twice, through a column still, maybe not a copper still. There's some variance to the difference, and I forget them all now. I would say these typically are a little harsher, so Armagnac needs a little more age. But this was a 1976 vintage, bottled 34 years later, whatever that is. This is not age in bottle. And it was okay. It was fine. But fun to open something with my birth year on it. I'm sure I could have found maybe a port, but port was not good in 1976. 1977 was an amazing year for port. Could have found one of those. It was born in 1977, but it was not. So I thought this was fun to open and drink, and I did, and it's fine. I will drink this over time, but it's nowhere near some of the amazing cognacs I've had. This wasn't anything ridiculously expensive. It certainly wasn't cheap. 34 years, but it was a good wine. So, good brandy. You gotta like brandy. I don't think a lot of people are drinking cognacs and brandies and Armagnacs and brandies from all over the world. It's distilled grape must, I think. I think it's distilled grape must. I forget exactly my wine theory, spirit theory is pretty aged at this point. I did get my WSET level 3 many moons ago, whatever it was called. Now what is it? Advanced, it's called? Wine Spirit Education Trust. It was a pretty intense 16-week, 12-week, 16-week course. And you had to memorize wines and spirits. I think now they've split it up, but yeah, this wine just smells over just too much, which is so crazy for Bordeaux. I'm going to pair it with the food. Yeah, see, it just tastes... It's unfortunate. These things happen, though. My tastes change, and some of these wines change, or this isn't as age-worthy as that. I think the reason I bought so many of these is I think I tried a 16 or a 15 3 years ago, and it was phenomenal. So I bought more, and now I let them age, and now they've kind of gone over the hill. So extremely disappointing, unfortunately. So wine party is in a few weeks. The theme this year will be Guess the Grape, which in some cases should be really easy. Pinot Noir versus Cab. So I'm going to mix it up with light-ish wines that are going to confuse people, and then big brooding wines. Haven't made the full list yet. Probably have a video and talk about it, because I think it'll be interesting to memorialize which wines I chose for the wine tasting party. But anyone born in February, happy birthday. Anyone turning 50 this year, happy birthday. And I absolutely enjoyed all these wines. I didn't open... I have three other really special wines I haven't opened. A Bartolo Mascarello Barolo 2020. I've wanted to try a really high-end Barolo, and I've wanted to try his for a while. I have the Chapoutier Hermitage Le Pavillon. And I have a Ridge Montebello 2014. So Ridge Montebello was one of the wines in the Judgment of Paris, 1976. Oh, my birth year. And I forget where it scored, and it didn't win. The Chateau Montelena won. Back then, white was more desired than red. So when Chateau Montelena won the 1976 Judgment of Paris wine tasting event in France, the wine heard all across the world. But it put Napa on the map. It put California on the map. And from there, the rest is sort of history. And really, Napa has probably the most consistent, best weather for wine in the whole world. Will that change with climate shift? I don't know. They still get a good cooling effect coming across from the Pacific Ocean. Pacific is really cold, and then of course it gets really hot during the day, so they love that diurnal shift where it's hot during the day and cooler at night. Really helps the wines have like a freshness, where if it's really hot at night and really hot during the day, you just get imbalance. You want balance in those grapes. You want acidity in those grapes. All right, more unnecessary talk. Gonna go have my lamb now. What am I do for my 60th? Let's hope I remember my 60th. Have a good night.